So students, we are on page on question number 21, right? And it was explain how public sector contributes to the economic development of a nation. So answer here is that is uh, how much is the public sector is contributing to the economic development of a nation. Okay, so economic growth of a nation also depends on the public sector activities, right? So how much it is contributing, we'll see the answer. In this answer it is written, it promotes rapid economic development through creation and expansion of infrastructure. Because public sector is responsible for providing welfare services, or the government sector is responsible for providing uh, public welfare programs to start these type of projects, so that the human development should take place. So therefore the government is also taking steps for creating and expanding infrastructure facilities. So in infrastructure facilities, we used to take the growth in the uh, electricity production, so that it should be produced to uh, such a high extent that it could be uh, facilitated to the rural areas even. And apart from this, roads, railways, overbridge, all these contribute to infrastructure facilities. And it creates employment opportunities, because whenever the government public sector is uh, opening up its own enterprises, then what happens is more number of people get employment in that, and this increases employment opportunities also. With this, it contributes to the human development index via health and education services. As I told you, government sector is responsible for the, that is the public sector is responsible for the development of human beings. Okay, means the population in the country, uh, their health conditions, their education, all should be proper. And for this, the government ensures that everyone should get education and a good health. So for this, government is opening up hospitals as well as schools in the rural areas, even in the remote areas even, so that human development index should also increase of the country. And apart from this, it ensures equality of income, wealth, and thus a balanced regional development. The government is also responsible to that uh, regional equality. Regional equality means that no region should be remaining backward. For this, the government used to take steps so that even in the backward regions, development should take place. Okay, so government is making efforts in that also. So this is what is called as regional equality. And after that, it is written there, it encourages small and large industries to flourish and provide employment. So government is making efforts also to provide uh, more and more facilities to the small scale industries even, so that people should get more employment. Okay, and with this, large scale industries are also encouraged by the government, so that people should get employment more and more, as India is suffering from the problem of unemployment. And apart from this, it ensures easy availability of goods at affordable prices, because public sector is having the objective that it should provide more and more welfare services to its people in the country. For this, the government is making available the goods to the public in a more affordable prices, right? Not at a very high prices, but at affordable prices. So this was answer 21. After that, answer 22. The workers in the unorganized sector need protection on the following issues: wages, safety, and health. Explain with examples. And if you see here that in the unorganized sector, the workers are suffering more and more. Basically, in some three concepts given here, like that of the on the basis of wages, safety, and health. Okay, so we'll see in all these three concepts or fields how the government should make efforts. So in the first one, it is written wages. As we all know, in the organized sector, workers are getting very low paid, or workers are getting very less salaries or wages, we can say. So to improve their condition, government should make efforts also to make some rules and regulations, and the workers in the unorganized sector also should get high wages or salaries, right? And apart from this, if we'll see in the unorganized sector, mostly throughout the year, most of the people are not fully employed, or we can say they are not working at their full potential, like that of the carpenter is there, push cart vendors are there, plus plumber, all these people. They are not having any fixed wages, or they are not having any fixed earnings, and government should make projects for them so that they should also get benefits of getting good wages. Then safety. In the unorganized sector, more and more healthy conditions are not provided to the workers. Okay, environment is not very clean. Like if you will take the example of mining, the mining may the workers are in a more danger of being killed when they move into the mines. Okay. Apart from this, the environment there is very much suffocating, plus toxic fumes are coming out from those mines, if mainly of coal. Okay, so these are all unhygienic conditions which the worker is suffering in unorganized sector. And apart from this, government should make rules and regulations more and more to protect these workers, to secure their life also. Okay, and the worker should be safe. So government should make rule for that also, rules and regulations for that also. Apart from this, about health of workers, if we'll consider in the unorganized sector, then workers in the unorganized sectors are given no medical security. No medical security is given to the workers in the unorganized sector, and no leaves for sickness. So government should make efforts so that these type of unorganized sector workers should be getting good health facilities also. Even the construction workers, they are not having any security for their life if they get injured during working in a particular construction site. So government should make rules and regulations for the security of their life also, and for their health conditions, right? Okay, so apart from this, we are moving on to question number 23. Question number 23 says, a study in Ahmedabad found that out of 15 lakh workers in the city, 11 lakh worked in the unorganized sector. अभी देखिए यहाँ पे directly it is written अहमदाबाद में 15 lakh workers जो हैं, वो total number of workers are 15 lakh. And 11 lakh are working in the unorganized sector. So automatically what amount of workers will be in the organized sector? That will be 15 lakh minus 11 lakh. That is 4 lakh workers are only in the organized sector. From this data we can calculate. Then apart from this, the total income of the city in this year 1997 to 98 was rupees 60,000 million. तो 1997 से 98 में जो टोटल इनकम कैलकुलेट की गई यही अहमदाबाद में, in this particular city, it was 60,000 million. Okay, total income. Organized sector workers and unorganized sector workers, दोनों की मिला करके total income. Out of this 32,000 million was generated in the organized sector. तो organized sector workers की जो income है वो आपकी 32,000 million है. तो how can you calculate the unorganized sector workers income? Very easy to find out. 60,000 million minus 32,000 million, it will be equal to 28,000 million. Clear? तो इसी तरीके से अभी आपका जो नीचे इसमें you are having the answer also, उसमें आप देख सकते हैं that the table is showing you ऑर्गेनाइज सेक्टर के वर्कर्स हमारे हो गए 4 लाख, अनऑर्गेनाइज सेक्टर के हो गए 11 लाख, टोटल वर्कर्स हो गए हमारे दोनों को मिला के 15 लाख वर्कर्स। इनकम जो है वो आपकी 32,000 मिलियन ऑर्गेनाइज सेक्टर के वर्कर्स की रिकॉर्ड की गई है। तो इसमें आप देख सकते हैं अनऑर्गेनाइज सेक्टर के वर्कर्स की जो ज्यादा है अनऑर्गेनाइज सेक्टर्स में, उनकी इनकम जो है वो कम है, दैट इज 28,000 मिलियन। और जहां पर ऑर्गेनाइज सेक्टर में लेस वर्कर्स हैं तो उनकी इनकम ज्यादा आ रही है 32,000 मिलियन। तो हियर वी कैन फाइंड आउट दैट वर्कर्स इन द ऑर्गेनाइज सेक्टर आर गेटिंग गुड incomes, and therefore unorganized sector should be converted into unorganized sector units, or firms should be converted into organized sector, right? For this government should help the unorganized sector units where loans should be given to them so that they can convert themselves into organized sector, and the worker should get the benefit of this afterwards. For this, the government must provide loans and aid to companies transferring from organized to unorganized sector. And for this, the government sector should encourage the unorganized sector to be converted into organized sector. Okay, apart from this, we are moving on to the following table gives the GDP in rupees crores by 3 sectors. अभी यहाँ पर जो आपका एक टेबल दी हुई है क्वेश्चन 24 में, यू कैन सी इन योर कॉपीज और यू कैन सी इन योर एनसीईआरटी बुक्स। तो वहां पर आप देख सकते हैं कि दैट ईयर 2000 है और 2013 है। यहाँ पर प्राइमरी, सेकेंडरी, टर्शियरी सेक्टर की जो कॉन्ट्रीब्यूशंस हैं जीडीपी के अंदर, हर सेक्टर का जो मनी वैल्यू ऑफ गुड्स प्रोड्यूस हुए हैं वो यहाँ पर दे रखा है। और इसी के तरीके से यहाँ पर अगर आप देखते हैं 2000 में प्राइमरी सेक्टर का जो कंट्रीब्यूशन टोटल जो जीडीपी था उसमें कितना था 52,000 करोड़, सेकेंडरी सेक्टर का 48,500 करोड़ एंड टर्शियरी सेक्टर का 1,33,500 करोड़। So you can see here tertiary sector is getting a rise apart from primary and secondary sectors. 2013 का जो हमारे पास रिकॉर्ड है उसमें प्राइमरी सेक्टर 8,500,000 करोड़ का शेयर दे रहा है जीडीपी में, मतलब उसका जो शेयर है। सेकेंडरी सेक्टर का 10,74,000 और टर्शियरी सेक्टर का 38,68,000। So question is calculate the share of the 3 sectors in GDP for 2000 and 2030. तो हमें इसमें शेयर बताना है 2000 और 2013 का फर्स्ट में। तो अगर फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन के हिसाब से जो आंसर है हमारा वो ये है that in 2000 share of primary sector was 22.22%। मैंने आपको बताया कैसे करके आप परसेंटेज शेयर निकाल सकते हैं 2000 में। आपको सिर्फ प्राइमरी, सेकेंडरी, टर्शियरी सेक्टर के सारे अमाउंट्स को ऐड करना है, यानी कि आपको 52,000, 48,500 और 1,33,500 इन सबको ऐड करना है, जीडीपी आ जाएगा। और जब प्राइमरी सेक्टर का शेयर निकालेंगे तो आपको बस इतना करना है 52,000 अपॉन जीडीपी, टोटल जीडीपी जो है मल्टीप्लाइड बाय 100 आ जाएगा आपके पास परसेंटेज शेयर ऑफ प्राइमरी सेक्टर आ जाएगा। तो इसीलिए इसी के हिसाब से हमारे पास 22.22% आपका शेयर प्राइमरी सेक्टर से आ रहा है, सेकेंडरी सेक्टर का शेयर आ रहा है आपका 20.73% और शेयर ऑफ टर्शियरी सेक्टर आ रहा है 57.04%। 2013 में जो शेयर आ रहा है वो आपका है इसमें प्राइमरी सेक्टर का जो है वो है आपका 13.94%, जो आप देख सकते हैं यहाँ पे कम हो गया, डिक्लाइन हो गया 2013 में, यानी कि 2000 में ज्यादा था, 2013 में कम हो गया, डिक्लाइन हो गया एग्रीकल्चर सेक्टर का शेयर। और सेकेंडरी सेक्टर का शेयर जीडीपी में 18.70%। जैसे मैंने आपको बता दिया शेयर निकालना बहुत आसान है। आप क्या करेंगे, जो जितना भी अमाउंट सेकेंडरी सेक्टर की मनी वैल्यू के गुड्स की मनी वैल्यू है उसको डिवाइड कर देंगे जीडीपी से, मल्टीप्लाइड बाय 100 शेयर आ जाएगा। शेयर ऑफ टर्शियरी सेक्टर इज 57.04%। तो ये आपका 2013 में 67.36%. Alright, so here you can see that more percentage share is of the service sector in the GDP. It was rising. Apart from this, second question was asking show the data as a bar diagram similar to graph 2 in the chapter. इसको आपको बार डायग्राम में शो करना है, तो बहुत आसान है उसको बनाना, जैसे कि आपने उसमें देखा था द शेयर ऑफ ईच सेक्टर, डिफरेंट सेक्टर्स. ओके, एक कंपोनेंट बार डायग्राम जो है आपकी एनसीईआरटी बुक में भी है, तो इसी तरीके से आपको यहाँ पे बनाना होगा. तो वो आपके पास आंसर में भी है पीडीएफ की, तो वो आप देख सकते हैं. ठीक है. एंड थर्ड क्वेश्चन इज आस्किंग व्हाट कंक्लूजंस कैन वी ड्रॉ फ्रॉम द बार ग्राफ. बार ग्राफ से क्या कंक्लूजंस हमें पता चल रहे हैं? दैट we draw the conclusion that the share of the tertiary sector in the GDP has increased by 10%. 10% बढ़ चुका है टर्शियरी सेक्टर का कंट्रीब्यूशन जीडीपी में, और while that of the primary sector has almost half. प्राइमरी सेक्टर का जो है वो हाफ हो गया परसेंटेज शेयर जीडीपी में, एंड द सेकेंडरी सेक्टर हैज ग्रोन बाय अबाउट 2%. सेकेंडरी सेक्टर का शेयर 2% बढ़ चुका है. ठीक है, इन द लास्ट 13 years. So these were all the answers of our questions. So that's all for question answers.